Good morning, good afternoon, good evening onXRP community. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on board today. My name's Lee and I'm going to be the host of the onXRP podcast. And today I've got a pleasure to introduce you guys to Kaj and Bastiaan from XPUNKs. And we're going to find out a little bit more about the project and how they got there and their future plans for the platform onXRP as well. So Bastiaan, Kaj, welcome. And firstly, thank you guys for inviting me onto your onXRP to be the host. And I'm really excited by the opportunity that you guys have presented to me. And I'm looking forward to more than anything else is kind of interviewing all the new projects that are going to come onto onXRP and meet great new people and interview some of the best people from within the space. So thank you guys. And I look forward to communicating with other projects within the space on XRP. So guys, welcome. So how are you today?
Doing great, thank you. Great that you're here. Thanks for doing this, and I'm very excited to start this journey.
Bastiaan?
Yeah, thank you, Lee. It's great to have you here, and I'm very excited to be working together with you in the future as well.
Fantastic. So guys, XPUNKs, right? Talk to me. Where was the idea born from? What did you just wake up one day and thought, we're going to do XPUNKs? You and Bastiaan kind of got in your living room and kind of just said, we're going to do it, or what? How did it come around?
Yeah, so basically the actual idea of not necessarily the XPUNKs in a sense, but the overarching idea of this journey, I think this already started like when we were 15, when Bastiaan and I were playing a lot of video games in Bastiaan's room. He just got the new Acer Predator gaming PC, and we just gamed a lot on it. and we just really dived into this internet culture. And I think this is where it started. We always wanted to do something related to this internet culture. And that's where it started. And then at some point, there is an opportunity that arises, you know, like fast forward to a couple months ago, I think about 4 months now, this whole airdrop thing going on the XRPL. And it was mainly focused on tokens, utility tokens. And then Bastiaan and I thought like, hey, Ripple is investing this massive grant into the ecosystem. And if Ripple takes a step like this, we all know that it's going to get huge. So yeah, we wanted to be first with the NFTs. And in order to be first, you have to be creative, basically. And that's what we did. So we tokenized the whole whitelisting aspect, created an IOU, brought it to market, and the community just loved it. It hit off. And now I think there's over 100 projects doing it exactly the same way. They see the value in it, you know. You don't have to wait. You just have to be creative. And that's what happened.
Great. And XPUNKs, and then moving on, did you have the idea in your minds that you were going to kind of create more than just XPUNKs at that point? Or was it kind of like you created XPUNKs, thought, oh, that was a success, now we can do more? Or was the roadmap that you're kind of delivering at the moment always kind of in your guys' plans?
Well, Bastiaan and I are very creative people. We think big, and that's what started. So it starts with one step. And one step leads to 10 other steps, and those 10 steps leads to 100 steps. And we both have ADHD, which is a blessing in disguise, basically, because we have a huge hyper focus when it comes to these things. And that's what happened, you know. It started hitting off. I think we've hit like 2K followers within the first 2 hours, and we've hit like a 25 million market cap within 48 hours. So this gives you, when this opportunity arises, it starts you to think within those boxes that you currently are working in, and it will also bring you to think outside that box. And that's when we really dove into that roadmap. We thought, hey, this is possible, that is possible, this makes sense, this also makes sense, and it's just an evolving cycle. And that brings us to here, you know, like as soon as we thought that, hey, there's this that needs to be addressed in the market. For example, in the beginning, a huge problem was transparency. People were thinking, hey, are these guys legit? Which is a fair question, you know, like we have this new structure, a token of an NFT, you know, making a non-fungible thing fungible. It's not really, has not really been seen. So there were a lot of questions, and that's when we like felt the need to really set a standard for the community at large and for the projects at large, which led to us doxing ourselves, writing an extensive white paper, which is not very common for NFT projects, a roadmap with milestones, and everything that arose from that. That's basically what happened.
And it's quite refreshing to see, I must say, because not a lot of projects do docs themselves and write a comprehensive whitelisting paper and white paper like you guys did. And yeah, no, I was greatly impressed straight off of the bat when I saw you guys come to market, and I've kind of been watching from afar and see you guys evolve, and it's been great to see. Bastiaan, what would you like to add?
Yeah, so really for us, we started the NFT project, but we've always, for a long time, we've already been looking at, okay, what is the potential of NFTs? And what really caught my eye a while back was set racing. That really caught my eye to a deep extent, because for a long time it was about the digital art, and that is still a very legitimate and important part. But Kaj and me being gamers, we've always gravitated towards that idea, really the idea of digital ownership. Like when you play a game and you put so much effort into getting something, and then the game tells you, well, you've created something with your labor, but now you cannot sell it. And it's not, we don't allow you to give it real world value. That for me has always been a bit sticky. And I do think it's very cool that now when you put labor and sweat into something, it will actually be something that you own, and you can bring it to other people outside of the game and you can sell it to them. I think that's a massive thing. And not a day goes by that we don't come up with new cool ideas. And I think it's in the spirit of the punk culture as well. Because what did the crypto punks do? They set the new agenda. They really popularized NFTs and showed a utility for NFTs. And I think it is, if we want to make right to the name, to bearing the name punks, that is something we need to do as well. And that is what we're working on very, very hard behind the scenes with many great partners. To really build some cool things for the future and show the rest of the world that it's not just a phase, not just a FUD, not an intangible nothing. There's real value to be made here for everyone. And that's what we want to show.
No, I love that. And I'm looking forward to the partnerships that you're going to bring to the market at some point and what you're looking to build in the future. I'm so excited to see where you guys go. I really am. One question for you guys then. Why XRPL? Because you could have built on anything. So why XRPL, guys?
Yeah. So I've been a huge fan of XRP since 2017. When it started, my blockchain journey started with with me getting into Verge, XVG, very early. I think I bought it at like 0.1 cent. So when that went to 30 cents, that was literally my first experience in blockchain. And it went like within 3 weeks, I think. And it just went times 300. So I suddenly thought like I have money. And then I got greedy. I didn't sell. I think I sold when it was like 4 cents. So that was my first big learning lesson as well. And then I thought like, okay, hey, I still want to stay in blockchain. And I don't want to be dependent on John McAfee. So what should I do? And that's when I started like actually doing my own research, which is the most important part in blockchain, I think. And then that's how I got into XRP. Because I remember that there was this news item where this really big bank, they initiated a transaction, I think it was like of above $1 billion, cross-Atlantic. I think it was from New York to Australia. I'm not sure again on the details. Within like seconds and like a couple XRP as transaction fee. So I thought this has to be groundbreaking, you know. This is a real problem that's being solved. Cross-border payments and this within the speed of light almost, you know. So that's when I really started like getting into the whole XRPL, XRP, the lore. That's later on I also got into Ripple, this really big company utilizing the XRPL for their own. And then I thought like, hey, started following everything from the surface to the hardcore lore within Bearable Guy, you know. I know everything. And that's when I started really loving the community in a sense. And then when this whole airdrop craze started arising, I thought like, hey, if I want to be part of it from the other side, you know. And that's when Bastiaan and I got together and started this basically. because like apart from me loving the technology, I also think for NFTs, XLS20 is going to be groundbreaking. You know, it's no gas fees. It's very accessible. It's to build on it, you don't have to build your own smart contracts, which is very, very great for new projects arising, to create a sustainable ecosystem and also accessible. And yeah, when all the stones fell together, it was an easy choice, basically. I didn't even think of going to Ethereum or Solana or whatever.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you answered it that way, and I hoped you would as well. And it's really refreshing seeing the journey that you guys went on, because I kind of entered into the XRP market as an investor around a similar time, but I didn't have the luck that you did, and I had to wait some time for my first 300x. Basically, I bought all the way down into the deep bear market. I bought, and everybody's hyping it, moved up a little bit, and then I was like, hang on, where is all this value going? And before I know it, my original stacks are like completely vaporized into thin air. And I'm like, what do I do? And I started panicking, I started selling, because I didn't really understand what was happening in the market, because I was new to it, right? And then here I am 4 or 5 years later, and I'm like, what I would say is seasoned investor, and you see things, and 300x's don't always occur, and I'm a strong believer in utility coins, especially layer 1 projects, and XRP is one of my biggest holdings within my portfolio, open disclosure. And yeah, I'm excited for the updates that they've got coming in 2022. And XLSD, is it XLSD 20? Is that right?
It's actually XLS20,
Yeah.
because if it's called XLS20D, if the D is behind it, it's called demission. So then it means that it's like a cancelled proposal.
Right.
What happened with XLS14, for example?
Right, okay.
Which is now XLS14D.
Absolutely, thank you for that. Next question then, guys. So you guys went and spoke to RippleX, right? Talk to me about that.
So yeah, we've had some back and forth. I can't really dive into much details, but
We'll cut
yeah,
that. Sorry, I went.
they just like what we are. No, that's okay. That's okay. Hey, we have to be complete transparent here, I find, and you have to ask any question you feel like, and I'll happily say whenever we can answer something or not. And this is something. Yeah, it's just a good back and forth. We have a good relationship, and they like what we're doing. We like what they're doing. We're both projects, companies building on the XRPL, and that's a good synergy to explore.
Absolutely. I do apologise for asking that question, and I will we'll ask the video editor to edit that part out. I do apologise.
Lee, never ever apologize for asking a question.
No, I do apologise again. Anyway, but anyway, now let's just move on, right? So you guys, gamers,
You're British as well, so
yeah, I know.
it's not gonna happen.
We are so polite over in Britain, right?
You cannot ask someone from Britain not to apologize.
I
Kai.
know. Well, what can I do? I've got good
Noted.
manners. I've got good manners. I was brought up well, right? Right. So, guys, you two gamers, 15 years old, right? So, at the moment in your story, I see a gap from what you've told us from you two boys being gamers. Playing in your room, big plans, big ideas, want to take on the world, right? There seems to be a gap between that and the XRP investment, or let's say your 300x experience, right? So what went on in between that kind of relationship with you guys and then get into the crypto market? So I'm assuming that you guys studied and maybe had work and stuff like that. So could you talk us through that part?
So yeah, we did. We both did a study for about half a year, and then we quit. Bastiaan asked me to go to Australia, and I said yes instantly, and we went to Australia for about 6 months, which was a great experience, honestly.
Well, just
and
traveling.
then after we started studying again, traveling, traveling, working.
Wow.
Working with the hands, working with feet, working with your brain, everything, you know?
Wow.
Bastiaan worked with the banana plants, I think, for how many weeks? 3-4 weeks?
I worked on a banana farm for 2 months, and since those first few weeks, nobody can ever tell me that I don't know what hard work is. Like as a well-raised Used to luxury Western boy coming to Australia, working on those banana farms. That was a big fucking experience.
So talk to me about your day on the banana farm.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, you woke up. What time did you wake up, and what did you do on the banana farm? Talk me through it. Come on.
Right, so you have to be standing ready there. You have the little villages in Australia, right? And all the backpackers they need work to sustain their travels, right? And you earn a lot of money in Australia. It's like $20 an hour, something like that. So it is very valuable. But everybody wants the good jobs, right? So you're basically standing there every morning at 6 o'clock in like this farmer village. 6 o'clock in the morning, you're standing next to the street with everybody, and there's just trucks driving by, and they're just picking you off the street. Like, you can come, and then you're working on a banana farm. So every morning at 7:30, you're actually standing there on the plantation, and we had these big shovels, and we had to cut away the little saplings from the tree. And because we were paid by because we were external contractors, we had to be really, really quick. It was insane. But it's a great experience. I once stepped on a 3-meter long python. I mean, wow. Australia is a different world, and I can recommend anyone to visit it someday. It's beautiful.
Absolutely, and I imagine you checked your shoes every time before you put them on as well, right?
Yeah, and the native Australians, they are badasses. Like, big shout out to the native Australians, because there were some native Australians or local Australians who worked on the banana farms, and they worked on bare feet. Because they believe that it's better, you have more contact with the ground and all that stuff. So they actually voluntarily, it's not because they can't afford shoes, but they voluntarily work on bare feet because they think it's better. Wow. It's awesome. I cannot imagine.
And what did Kai choose for work over in Australia? You obviously didn't choose a banana farm.
No. Well, the first start of our journey, we worked together actually on a vineyard and an olive garden, which was also quite hard work, but I'm sure it's not as hard as working on a banana farm. And then in the middle, I found a boring job in door-to-door sales with a good bonus, and so I didn't really need to work that much afterwards, which was also great. But yeah, so a more boring story, but still a good life lesson.
So then Australia, where did you guys go after that?
After Australia.
Then we went back to the Netherlands, and we picked up our studies. And basically with the education part, Kai and me both studied something technical beforehand, because we are both quite technically minded. But I think we both got a sense that we were missing something in it. We really need that more personal. Yeah, we need the people focus. So went to Australia, really got it out of our systems, basically, what you do when you're young, right? And then we both just started studying business, and that made a lot of sense. And we both chose different specializations, but we can, I dare to say that Kai and me understand business well, but we've never lost that connection with like the internet, the technical parts, and gaming. We never lost touch with them. So now we can combine both our profession and our passion.
Oh, wow. So basically, you guys are true childhood best friends, joint at the hip, gone round the world working together to see it, right? And then come back and created...
Oh, we've been through a lot. A lot.
I say to Kai all the time that I can literally read his mind. We do a lot of conversation with like big players, people from big companies and stuff. And sometimes we have to convince them of something, or we have to pitch something. And it's like those conversations, they're magical, because I know exactly when to shut up, and Kai exactly knows when it's when I need to answer something, and I can just see by his fucking by like a little muscle, by his eyebrows. I couldn't find the word, but it's easy to read your mind with your eyebrows, Kai. No, but we can read each other's mind, and that's very helpful.
Oh no, and it comes from a long-standing relationship as well, though, right, guys? And it's nice to do something in this world and create in something that you're both passionate in. It's clear that you guys have got a connection and a friendship and a love for one another, and it's lovely to see. And also, that connection kind of seeps through to the community as well, because XPUNKs, for me, it feels like it's been built from a labour of love as well, and what you're doing as an ecosystem point of view as well. So I've seen and noticed how you interact with the community and stuff like that. So can you guys talk to me about because obviously when you launched XPUNKs, you come from nowhere, and then all of a sudden you were quite well known within the XRP community. And how did that feel as individuals, really, more than anything else, from going from being unknown to being more known?
So the funny part is like for the 2 years that I think like after the 2018 crash, I stopped a little bit with crypto, and then when I got back, I started watching like mostly Bearable Bulls episodes. And so I had this like this one-way connection with him, because I was always listening to him when I went for a jog, when I went to the gym, you know. He obviously didn't know of my existence. When everything started going, obviously I reached out to him, and he welcomed me with open arms, and we had a great conversation, and then he invited me on a podcast as well, which was awesome. And that was like, for me, in my mind, a moment of shift, like, okay, this is happening, you know. And that's just, yeah, I was really cool. Sense of responsibility. I feel like taking responsibility, especially in something grotesque like this, is shaping people, you know. It's shaping people. How do you deal with it? You can go crazy. You can also hate on a lot of other people when it goes to your mind, goes to your head, you know, which I also see happening. But if you stand on earth with your 2 feet, you keep the connection with the community. You treat everybody with love. I think that's where the power is, and if you give people love, you get love back, and that's a general rule I live by. You treat others how you want to be treated yourself.
Absolutely. How about you, Bastiaan? Let's talk about your relationship and where it come from, being, let's say, not known within the XRP community to now being known.
I think what was the most fun for me in general is just looking at Kaj, how much he enjoyed what he, for example, the experience with Bearable Bull, but also being mentioned in the Ripple report. I mean, Kaj is the real XRP diehard fan, and he kind of dragged me into this, to it, and made me fall in love with it as well. But Kaj, you know, he was talking about it for years to me. Like at a certain point, I was just
so busy with work. He never listened.
We always have one of those friends, Kaj, yeah? Do you know, like the ones who don't listen, who come out for woodwork when you do well, right?
I did listen to him back in 2017 when he talked about Verge. He was like, Bastiaan, you have to buy Verge. I was like, okay, I'll buy some. I put in $30, and it was within a few days, what was it, like $1,300. So I did always know, like, okay, I do have to listen to Kaj, but I was just too busy to really get involved. Yeah. But yeah, no. When we started this project and seeing that Kaj got to really, all of a sudden he was like in the place where he wanted to be, right? And it was so inspiring to see that. I remember the moment that I was just checking Discord. It was late. Kaj was just about to sleep for the first time in ages, and I saw a screenshot coming by. I was like, "What is this?" And it was the Ripple report saying XPUNKs. And I was like, is this real? So I instantly started Googling, and I found it on the website and all that stuff. And Kaj didn't know yet. I was so happy that I got to call him. And I was like, Kaj, you have to listen to this. And this guy, he got so, it was amazing. It was beautiful. So yeah, hard work pays off. It
certainly does. It certainly does. Sure. And how do you guys? Because obviously, you come from studying into this, created obviously XPUNKs event and onXRP, and the workload is so much, right? From an organizer, you've gone right in at the deep end, right, where people normally feel their way into a business, as to speak. How do you juggle your real world lives with your families, friendships, socializing, and doing what you're doing from a build point of view at the moment?
I think for both Bastiaan and me, if I may speak for you as well, is that I think for the first time in ever, we really feel like it's home, like we're in the right spot when we're doing what we should be doing, that we are made for this, basically. I love human connections also with friendships and stuff, but what we're currently doing, this is my passion, you know? I really love what we are doing. And it just feels like home. So I don't know. Like it felt just like there's like a button in my head just turned on, and now we're here. And I don't know. It just goes. It just goes, and we just keep going, and it just feels natural to us. You know, like for example, you can see Jimi Hendrix is a natural guitar player. you have natural artists. I'm not saying that I'm a natural artist, not at all. I'm not. I don't even dare to compare myself with those guys. I want to be very clear with that. But I just feel like they must have had a moment like that as well, where a button turned on, and when they reached something they wanted to achieve, and it just went on from there, and it just felt natural, and that's also what happening to me.
Absolutely, I can resonate.
Flow state, really.
Absolutely, I can resonate exactly with what you guys are saying as well. Because my wife says to me, because obviously I have a lot of conversations, I kind of work actively within the cryptocurrency space myself, right? And my wife goes, look, Lee, you've worked 14 hours today. And I'm like, it just doesn't feel like I'm at work. I wake up, I don't feel like it is work. Meeting great people all the time, getting to talk, learn about their stories, their families, and what they're building. And every day's a learning day for me. I don't prove to be some kind of crypto specialist, but I'm here to learn like everybody else, right? And I think everybody, what they've got to do is do their own research and wake up and go into the community enthusiastic. And yeah, that's all I can suggest to people, right? But no, every day's a working day, every day's a learning day, but it don't feel like work or learning. That's how it does for me anyway. So guys,
I agree.
So for the next part, right? I kind of want to find an idea a bit more about where you guys are going next. I know you guys can't release too much without going, but is there more products coming down the line or anything like that that you are happy to talk about today?
Yeah. There's
wow.
Honestly,
I thought you weren't going to tell me. I thought you weren't going to tell me.
I'm not going to go into details. But we're going to be signing a deal on Monday for something that's actually really groundbreaking in the whole crypto scene. I'm really excited about that. And there's also that we're in the last steps of another really great thing we want to build. So those are like the crumbles I can leave behind.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's just we're not done. We're definitely not done. Like even XLS 20 still has to come out. You know, we're only getting started. I feel we're 4 months old now, almost. 2 days ago, 4 months. So yeah, there's still a lot of awesome stuff coming. You know, the NFTs aren't even minted yet. So yeah.
Wow. Do you know what? Do you know what? I see. Go on, Bastiaan. Sorry, I didn't hear you there, Bastiaan.
Oh, don't worry about it. I was just saying what Kaj was saying. There's a lot of great stuff coming. It's just really frustrating for us. It's really, really, really frustrating for us knowing that you're working on these deals behind the scene and that they're so close. You just cannot tell people yet, right? You just cannot. There's NDAs and there's things are fragile, and you don't want to. You know that things are still flexible and dynamic, and it's so frustrating. But in the end, Kaj and me just believe we just keep on building value, and sooner or later people will see what we're building.
Absolutely. Do you know what I do? I see two good friends busy squirreling, collecting their nuts behind the scenes, right? And they can't eat their nuts until the deal's fully in place. And I could see you two fighting over the nuts to actually show someone what you've got. And it's just lovely to see the enthusiasm that you guys have been working so busy behind the scenes, and you can't wait to tell somebody about it, because it's like a gift to the community, every product that comes out or every partnership or anything that you guys have got coming down the line. And it's lovely to see not only the enthusiasm, but the transparency and the relationship that you two have clearly got. And I want to thank you both for coming on my first ever podcast with onXRP today. And I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. Hopefully it's the first of many. And and I'd love to have you guys back on again. But for now, we'll say goodbye. I love you and leave you to the community and you guys as well. And we'll see you all again soon.